Hello, I am Concetta Fierravanti-Wells, Australia's Minister for International Development and the Pacific. Australia's seasonal worker program has been a blessing for Australian businesses that cannot find Australian labour to meet their seasonal needs. As you will hear in the following short video, this program can deliver return visits from highly motivated teams from the Pacific Islands and Timor-Leste. Australian businesses have developed strong relationships with these workers. They have trained the workers to meet their needs with confidence that they will return next season. This program helps our neighbours in the Pacific and Timor-Leste to bring back valuable income and skills to their families and communities. Here in Australia, communities stand to gain from the visiting workers. We have found that the workers buy local to meet their daily needs and to take some gifts home. As you will hear, they can enrich local communities in other ways too. I would encourage you to consider how the seasonal worker program can be part of your labour solution and part of your community's plan for growth.
My name's Hugh Tully, I'm the Operations Manager.
My name is Fred from the Kingdom of Tonga. I come here in seasonal worker program to Mandapra, Queensland.
Basically, I run all the ground crews. Mandarins is our business. We generally find that a lot of the guys who haven't worked in horticulture before or haven't done any farm work before have an unrealistic idea of what the work is. It is difficult, it is hard. So it's definitely a job where you've got to be continuously working. You can't be slacking off, otherwise you won't be making the money that you require. Any local staff that we are able to get a hold of, we will, but unfortunately the interest to come out here isn't that great. So that's why the seasonal worker program works best for us. We do advertise for locally coming up to season, but sitting out there picking all day or thinning in 40-degree heat is not everyone's cup of tea.
There's no way there's enough local labour to supply our seasonal labour needs, and so we've always relied on backpackers.
We use some backpackers, but they aren't always available to stay as long as we'd like.
The surf's up in Byron, or, there's a music festival on that they've just heard about in Melbourne. That's what backpackers do. They're here to travel and work, and that doesn't give us a level of reliability in our business.
So I started to think about seasonal workers could be another part of our labour solution.
In rural and regional Australia, there has always been seasonal shortages of labour. The cane harvesters in northern Queensland, the itinerant shearers, they were all seasonal workers. I'm the team leader of the Labour Mobility Assistance Program for DFAT. I also run family farming operations in southern New South Wales. As Australia has grown and our agricultural industries have got bigger, the demand for seasonal labour has increased.
All right, so the three roseman fellas up to the bush, just doing what we were doing yesterday, and you three guys will take you over here and show you what we do. Okay?
With the seasonal workers, they're far more consistent in their dedication and approach to the job. They want to come back and work for us again, so they have every incentive to work hard.
That puts too much wear on the tractor. 540 or 2? Oh, no, your revs. But if you have a look... Yeah, 420 or something. Work ethic, for the most part, you can't fault them at all. If anything, they're screaming out for extra hours. They understand they've got a set time frame to make as much money as possible, which will have a direct effect on themselves, their lifestyle, their families and even their communities.
So in 2006, the World Bank released a really influential report on what the benefits could be of lower skilled migration, and the results were really impressive. You know, people's health outcomes improve, people's children are better educated, they have better access to food and water, they have better access to basic goods. That's a really important part of poverty alleviation and how these migrants, when they go back home, how they can improve their lives.
There's a lot of money for them to make, and what they can do with that money when they return to their countries is quite phenomenal. I've been privy to many photographs of houses being built in various stages of construction.
A lot of young girls have taken the opportunity of coming here, which I think is a very positive step, and I really encourage them to become independent, save their money and improve their lives.
I still have a plan to do. Maybe build a house for my mom and dad, and then the rest, maybe I was thinking to my future, like maybe have a mini restaurant, like selling Asian food.
Like all the needs of my family, all their needs. Like I had a son going to school, pay the school fee.
Educate my children. Education, that's what most important. I think back home we need the children to be educated, to be better citizens, and then to also bring in a bit of change. We need to have them educated. They can't be like me. Yeah.
And I even pay for school fees. I've got 3 kids in high schools. If it wasn't for Australia, maybe, I don't know, maybe my kids won't go to school.
At the moment, I'm building a house. Yeah. Like that, and then to send some money to my family to support.
Because we are feeling they're making a big sacrifice for their families. They leave their families behind and they come here for 6 months, they don't see the children. It's very important for them to save the money and take it home.
It's kind of sacrifice. I talk to my family every day. I'm gonna be sick if I don't talk to my family. Homesick.
There wouldn't be one person that doesn't feel homesick for home and culture and food and family. They all do. And you can certainly see it towards the end of their stay that people are starting to just long to go home.
Yeah, I miss my kids, but I'm here for them.
It's hard. Away from them is like missing them so much.
They're doing it for their families. They're doing it to better their lives, but it's not easy. So I think we need to always be mindful of that and treat it with a bit of compassion. And we don't want to put our fellas over there because those fellas will all come back.
Yeah, they'll come.
Yeah, just answer him and say, can you send through some profiles so we can get this happening? Ask him to send through 8 profiles.
When you know that the money's going back to a country where it's going to have quite a life-changing impact on these workers, I mean, it's just a fantastic bonus.
These people are working and taking money into their countries. It's less aid that Australian taxpayers have to pump into these growing economies. You know, people got to think about it like that. These guys are coming and earning their aid.
And it's good too because it's not that you're just giving them money, they're working hard for it. And so it's a win-win for everyone. So it seems to work well.
We are here not only to cut asparagus. We are here to get some good ideas. You'll understand some good ideas, then you start learning from that.
When you come here, you're not only looking for money.
Today we have extra housemen, so
You should learn everything, like when your manager or supervisor talk with you, and when you back to your country, you can do the same thing like them do here.
As Pacific Islanders can come back year after year, they're able to really build their skills base. They're able to use their skills year on year. You have a sort of an upfront cost, an investment, but over time, you sort of reap the rewards of that investment.
Because we're confident they're coming back year after year, then we can also start to put a bit of resources and money into upskilling them as well And then obviously we get benefits because we've got forklift drivers and we've got spray operators. For example, Fred has now got a Chem Cert certificate and has been trained to do the tractor driving and to do the chemical spraying.
I drive tractors and spray guard, mix the chemical and spray it on the citrus.
For us, the original reason is labour, and they certainly fill that gap. Then you've got, of course, all the benefit to our local community here.
Because it is a farming region, it's very seasonal. Knowing that we have that group of people coming through each year is very important for our business.
Seasonal workers, they are very important. They are the bread and butter, you know. Every time you get a seasonal worker around, you know, they will spend money in your shop and treat them nicely. They come back again, you know, and they spend more.
They all support local businesses.
Yes.
Every day there'll be a Tongan or PNG guy or lady in the store.
Working shirt?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, just long sleeve.
They tend to buy a lot of work boots, towels, underwear, socks, a lot of luggage to take all their goodies home.
$10 change. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
These people actually purchase not only for themselves while they're here, but they purchase to send product back to their families. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
They're wanting suitcases and skirts for their wives and clothes for their babies and their kids.
They support local business 100%.
Generally speaking, the community has embraced them, has set up the social hub so they can socialise without going to the pubs. So there's been a lot of acceptance.
This was put together by our social cohesion worker. It's like council also supporting the economy of the region, and we could see that to have the continuity of employment in these orchards is going to save probably the orchard some money, and obviously that money will be spent back in the community.
Local council have been fantastic. Faye Whelan, our local member from Mundubra, she obviously sees seasonal worker scheme will benefit the whole community. So that's been a huge difference.
We could see merit in that these workers were here to earn money, to take back and be more self-sustaining rather than have aid all the time. This community still does need backpackers, and I think with the balance of local workers, the backpacking fraternity, you know, multicultural across the world, and the Pacific seasonal workers, it's become a good balance.
You know, they play in the football team, so it gives our football side a bit more muscle.
They participate in our events, and you know, their voices are just absolutely fantastic. It's a pleasure to have them here and interact with the community and the things that we run, and they're always willing and happy to participate.
In 2013, the Burnett River went over the bridge just across the road here on the farm.
We were inundated by floodwater from the cyclone that had hit up north, and we were asked to evacuate. The Pacific Islanders just said, "What do you want us to do?"
Some of these men just carrying out whole refrigerators down high staircases on their back.
Some of those big Tongan men, they could pick up a fridge on their own.
1/3 of our town was underwater, and the Tongan boys were absolutely magnificent in assisting this community get back on their feet.
They were, you know, moving furniture out of houses. They were, you know, down the main street helping people clean up.
Whether it be a flood or a storm or anything that's going on in the town, they're always there to be part of it and help out.
Because we had proved that it was such a successful scheme, both locally within the community, as well as beneficial to those poorer countries that was in the scheme.
The results are really positive. People who have the opportunity to come see much greater increases in income, and that flows through into their communities. And we know that there's lots of people out there who want to come, and those who can't, that their lives don't improve by as much as the others who can come.
Why the program works so well is that people have control of their own destiny. They can decide where they want the money to go. They can decide what the priorities are for their development and the development of their communities.
I can benefit, the workers can benefit, the community here can benefit, the community at home can benefit. So I can't see how it can be a loss to anyone.
We remember why we're here. We work hard, and I love it.
I don't know how we do it without this program, really.